So, believe it or not, I have a few friends, and one of those friends works at MSFT. That's Microsoft, and she's pretty high up, and she's very technical. And she watches my videos, and she said, "Hey, Mike, I think you're missing the picture on LLMs." And I said, "Okay, then enlighten me." So she said, "Okay." So what they're doing at Microsoft is pretty damn cool, and it's just not something I thought of. So I imagined these chat windows, these uh, LLMs, these large language models, as an interface, right? And you ask it some shit, and it spits out a response, right? You've got to train that on a lot of data, all right? So just a ton of data, and to me, they're not very accurate. Now, she said it is true. No one's using them to write code right now. It is true that no one's using them in the data sphere. However, she said, with the rise of these things called AI agents, they are using them heavily within Microsoft on something called Copilot. So I looked into it, and she was right. They are. And so what these agents are, some of these are AI. I love the use of AI now, right? It's everywhere. It's a marketing tool. Some of these aren't AI agents at all. Some of these are programs. A program is written for a purpose, and it does whatever you tell it to do. So some of these programs, others are true AI agents, are being incorporated into Copilot. Now you're thinking, so isn't Copilot to me just another flavor of an LLM? And I say, yes, it is. However, I'll give you an example. I worked at a very large healthcare company probably 3 months ago. I left. I was doing a contract there, and I was there. I was making a lot of money. I was billed in at over 150 hour. I wasn't making that 150 an hour, but that's what I was billed at. So it was on the clock. I was getting 150 hour, 8 hours a day. It took me 2 weeks before I got my first laptop. Think of the money they left on the table while I sat there for 2 weeks playing on the internet. And that's exactly what I did, because that's all I could do with my computer, because I wasn't allowed on their systems with my computer. 2 weeks. So a lot of companies like Microsoft are incorporating these LLMs into other facets of the organization using these AI agents. So let's say, and they're starting, I think, a pilot working on something to avoid this very thing. So you come into the company, you say you log on your computer, any computer, and it says, "Hey, what's your name?" And then you tell it your name, and then it says, what's your new position?" And then you tell it your position, and then you tell it who's your manager. And as you give it these things in the background, it's creating these data pipelines, is exactly what they are, to other parts of the organization. So it's reaching out to the manager, getting his email approval to get everything installed. Next question. Uh, what kind of laptop do you need? Well, I work specifically in this company. I need two, because I work with MySQL and I work with SQL Server. And while you can use either for both, they had it set up so that I needed two, one for MySQL on the Linux side and one for Windows. All right. So it's really cool what they're doing. And this, I think this has a lot of legs, and this has a lot of applicability. So for those of you who jumped on my ass about the LLM, and me not seeing it, the big picture, especially in the enterprise, you're right. So I do apologize for that. I just not see the big picture. Do I use an LLM for anything other than fun? No. Am I going to use it for any data role? No. It doesn't write any code that I can't write on my own that's not already written. But in this scenario, and a lot of other scenarios like the HR scenarios, embedded with this, right? To get all your forms, your driver's license picture, all that stuff. This is a fantastic idea. All right, let's not forget about the Logikbot deal going on right now. So here we are on Logikbot. If we come down to the bottom and we click on Enroll Now, We click on, I could look on the courses if you want. There are quite a few of them. Click on Get Started and have a coupon. And we type YouTube 25. I don't think it has to be in caps. It does not. You get Logikbot for a significantly reduced price. All right, so recommend you take advantage of this. There are lots of freebies on here. The interview cheat sheet is what Microsoft uses for interviewing candidates. There's a 100-page download machine learning interview cheat sheet that I used after I interviewed at Amazon and eventually didn't take that role because it was 100% travel. And I have 2 young boys. That's a no-go. So if you're interested in learning machine learning, you're interested in learning data analysis, here's your opportunity to learn from someone who's done it for 30 years.